Hi, family. This is Dr. Kia Pruitt. I hope you can hear me now. I had to go out and come back in. So I'm in a location where we don't have a lot of internet because I'm working with a special population of children. And so I just wanted to let you all know that I've been working with a special population of children, many of whom are disabled, some born that way, and then some unfortunately have been the product of being trafficked through Child Protective Services. Some have lived in foster care, some have lived in group homes and otherwise. And so they come to us, for therapeutic needs and also for instruction. And so I just wanted to let you know what goes on behind the scenes with some of the people that work with children who have been abused, sexually assaulted, etc. So I don't have a lot of time. I'm on break. It is Monday, December the 9th, 2024, and the time is 1:19 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I probably only have 10 minutes. But working with children who have been raped and abused and sexually assaulted, especially those who have some disabilities already, is very challenging and is very difficult. I don't do this on a full-time basis, but it's challenging. It's sad. And it made me think about the fight that we've been going through with the deep state. This fight against the deep state is not just about liberating everybody from financial enslavement, and neither is it about liberating us from the banking system, but it's about liberating the children as well, who have been the most fragile part of this battle. Okay, they are the ones that we are supposed to be protecting, the children, whether it's in the womb or out of the womb, the most. And a lot of people have not heard the children. You've had Allie Carter to come out. You've had children that are survivors of what happened to them in Disney, MK Ultra Mind programming to come out. You've had child actors that have been trafficked through CPS and foster care who have come out and spoken about being traumatized, abused, sexually and mentally, emotionally abused. Some of them have been sold to other family members. Arena Houston comes to mind, who was the eldest daughter of Whitney Houston, who was taken from Whitney when Whitney was 16 years old because she had gotten pregnant by her abuser. And that child was trafficked through CPS. I'm thinking about David Quigley, who is the real John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. He talks about the trauma that he endured at the hands of the deep state or the cabal or the Illuminati, whoever you all want to call it, in his book, Stolen Identity. I recommend you get that book. So I'm friends with Rena Houston. I'm friends with David Quigley, who is the real John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. I'm friends with Nancy Pelosi's daughter-in-law, who had her children taken away from her, and with a lot of people that I can't even speak on their names. Somebody who's a survivor of the Elvis Presley family, who had been trafficked through abuse. And so I take this job very seriously of taking down the deep state. So no, I don't do it of my own volition. Is because I'm called to do it. So what brought me here today is not only am I working with some of these children, and it's very traumatic, it's very hard because many of them can't feed themselves, they can't wash themselves, they can't speak, and it's traumatic. It's hard to deal with. But what I encourage you all to do is listen to these stories when people are trying to tell you what they've been through. Listen to them and don't chalk it up as, you're just some fake. You're just somebody that's trying to get fame or whatever. These babies who are now, some of them who are now adults, have been anally penetrated, put on tables, served as party favors, not just with P. Diddy and Jay-Z and some of these celebrities that some of us have come to love and idol worship, but anytime you want to make it to the highest levels in society, and banking, education, higher education, medicine, research, any segment of society, if you want to reach the highest levels, you have to rape children. I don't understand why we're making light of this. I don't understand. I know we're all stressed out. We all need money, and we're wondering when I'm going to get my money. When is this going to happen? But just think about the children who have been rescued, who have not been heard, many of whom cannot speak. And now they're trying to tell us, the ones that can speak as adults, what's going on. And we laugh at them to scorn. It's a travesty. And this is why I take what I do so seriously. Yes, I believe them. And even if they were not, for some reason, not telling the truth, why would I not listen to the stories? Because to make up these type of stories, you know, I don't know how you could make it up if it weren't real. And if it weren't real, I'm still going to listen. So let me just tell you, thank you so much, 86 people being in the chat, that recently, excuse me, I have to get back to work, but I told you all about Benjamin Fulford, who is a prominent independent journalist. He works for the Japanese secret societies and other secret societies. Please go to benjaminfulford.net. I want to show you his newsletter. I prescribe because he's good. He's been doing it since the 80s, speaking out against the Khazarian Mafia, Illuminati, secret societies. And he wrote for the Forbes magazine, and he was the publisher, Forbes Japan. And he had to flee Canada. He's Canadian born. He had to flee and move to Japan and become a Japanese citizenship because the deep state was after him. Well, recently he has come out and endorsed John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. Let me show you this right quick. This article I will put it in the description section for you. Oh gosh, where is it? You know what? Here it is. Okay, I couldn't find it. I'm not going to be here long, fam. I probably got 5 more minutes. But in this article, he was talking about the cabal, the deep state, whom he's been speaking out against for many, many years. And he was saying, you know, how the takedown is going, how he's working with secret societies, the benevolent factions of secret societies all over the globe, particularly Asian secret societies, since he has a Japanese citizenship. Well, he has recently in this newsletter talked about, endorsing John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr., David Quigley, a friend of mine. Listen to what he says. He says, before we dig into this, more information about the cabal, we're glad to report that we have heard from the real John F. Kennedy Jr., the one who died in the plane crash, was the illegitimate son of Aristotle Onassis, who played the public persona of JFK Jr. before being killed, he says. The real JFK Jr. has one of the most horrific and disturbing stories to tell. After his father, JFK Sr., was assassinated, he was sold to a satanic family that kept pigs used to dispose of the many bodies of the people they killed. He has put out a book describing what happened to him. Here it is, The Real John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. And he links you to David Quigley's website. David Quigley, by the way, is JFK Jr., the real one, who was taken from his father and put into a protective custody. Well, his father was killed. His mother, Jackie, was killed. His stepfather, Aristotle Onassis, was killed. And he survived that whole ordeal. You have to go through my channel, and I'll bring him back on to look at my interviews with him and my review of his book. But let me tell you what Benjamin Fulford goes on to say. He says John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. says that his mother was killed and replaced by a lookalike after her husband Onassis was killed. The purpose of this was to use the avatar to steal the Onassis fortune. This is standard Khazarian Mafia operating procedure for stealing the fortune of non-Khazarian Mafia billionaires. This was just part of the trauma that JFK Jr. went through. He says he was raped at the age of 5, put in a bathtub with a dead body, and told he could not leave until he cut the body parts into many pieces. He also witnessed many children being tortured to death in satanic rituals. This 30-minute video summarizing the story is one of the most disturbing and mind-blowing things I've ever seen in my lifetime, Benjamin Fulford writes. The details in this story are too granular and too fact-checkable to be fake. For example, if you don't believe Kennedy was murdered by Satanists, you can watch the participants at Lady Bird Johnson's funeral all make satanic hand signs. The Bushes, Clintons, all of them were there. Remember, Barbara Bush is the daughter of satanic Aleister Crowley. Barbara Bush is Aleister Crowley's daughter. Even Tucker Carlson is now openly saying Satanists are running America. In a sign, Kennedy might finally get justice. Trump and Robert F. Kennedy have just ordered the Dallas, Texas police to arrest Ruth Paine on charges of conspiracy to murder President J.F. Kennedy. And then here's the presidential orders from Donald Trump here listed. CIA sources tell us Paine was a CIA agent. She was Lee Harvey Oswald's handler. She's still alive, and her arrest will lead inevitably to the satanic controllers of the Federal Reserve Board who killed Kennedy to prevent him from giving control of the financial system back to the people. And so he says, okay, so that now takes us back to Evergreen, which he was talking about earlier in the article, and the Taiwan-based partners in crime who control the Federal Reserve Board. So let me take this, copy and paste it, and I'm going to put it in the chat for you guys. Okay. Thank you for being here. So that's the newsletter from Benjamin Fulford. I'll come back on later to read more about that newsletter. But please, family, know that this stuff that these kids are talking about and the adults, the survivors of abuse are talking about is real. I'm glad you are back to listen to me. Thank you so much. I'm working with some of the children who are connected to celebrities. I know them personally. And then some of the children who are not connected to celebrities who were trafficked through deep underground military bases or trafficked, and not even that, through schools, trafficked through Boy Scouts. It's so much I can't even tell you. But I just wanted to let you know, family, that a lot of this information is going to come out. And I pray that we can be compassionate and empathetic, because even though we don't know what it's like to go through this type of thing, it's real. Okay. Follow David Quigley, also known as John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr., on YouTube and also on Facebook. He'll give you more of his information. And I got to go back to work. Let's look at Amazon. I want you to read his book called Stolen Identity before I get off of here. I'm kind of shaking because it hurts my heart to hear people make fun of these children who have been through abuse and MK Ultra mind programming. In his book, he also talks about Denzel Washington. He told you all in his book that Denzel Washington is part of the deep state, but we love these artists so much, Jay-Z and all of them, that we don't believe him. He told you all, he showed you a picture, John F. K. Jr. did, of him and Denzel, and he talked about the story about how he was groomed as well for Hollywood and to do some things to children. So I don't have time. I'm off break now. I got to hurry up before they start looking for me to go through the book, but this is called Stolen Identity, Unveiling the Real John Kennedy Jr. I do know him as a good friend of mine. He's given me gifts. He's given me donations through my Cash App. He gave me a beautiful necklace. He texts me from time to time to let me know that he cares about me. He's just a wonderful, wonderful person. Somebody that's been through a lot, family, and still go through a lot of trauma, and so sometimes he can't be on long discussions because, can you imagine being through all this type of abuse? He talks about, the mind programming, how they make you do things, how they make you cut up people in the deep state. And even though he was in protective custody, you have to understand who is in control. The mafia, the Khazarian mafia, the deep state, the cabal, they even control not only the government, the Federal Reserve, but they even control protective services. So that's about it. I just want you to remember the children. And I want to let you know that now prominent people are speaking out in support of John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. and some of these other survivors of abuse. My name is Dr. Kia Pruitt. I got to go back to work with the children. Just got finished feeding, I think two of the children who allegedly have been through some trauma. I have to say allegedly, but it's not even alleged because it's documented and we're actually working with them. So I don't work with the military closely. I don't work with those that have been trafficked underground, but I've worked with those who have been trafficked through CPS, foster care, and schools, and Boys and Girl Scouts, and all that type of thing. And so, some things I can't say, but John Fitzgerald Kennedy can speak on them. So that's it. My name is Dr. Kia Pruitt. Stay encouraged. Please pray for the children. That's fine. I'll find out a way how we can help them, but I would say support them and listen to them and be empathetic to their cries. That's it. I'm off break. I love you all so much. Take care, family. Thank you for supporting me. Bye-bye. And Benjamin Fulford is benjaminfulford.net, and I put his information in the description section so you can subscribe to his channel as well.